So, welcome everybody. We are here having some panel discussion about career, and we have one person representing each company. So, we are going to start with some around the table, and people are going to introduce themselves and the company and their open position. So, please, let's start by Birgit.
Hi, my name is Britta Berglund, and I'm working with H&M as a talent acquisition partner. And I guess all of you know about H&M, but I am also part of the rather new function there, the BizTech function. And the BizTech function is a really exciting new function that is focusing on AI, business development, and IT working together. At H&M, we continuously have a large number of open positions, and Python is one of the really most wanted skills when we look for new employees. And it could be a part of machine learning, profiles, data engineering, software engineering. Python is really crucial for a lot of our efforts going forward and reaching our goals at H&M BizTech. I would like to emphasize that working with us means a lot of teamwork, and you would typically be working really close to other experts with other expert focus areas, and together with them in an agile way, find new solutions. We explore a lot and we test a lot, and we like trying out new algorithms, and we love to evaluate model outputs. We simply love coding. So if you've been like working with projects in GitHub, for example, we would like to look into that as well. I would also like just to mention that we are really eager to see the business value in everything that we do. And therefore, we strive to understand our core business and the obstacles that they meet on a daily basis. I believe that you can easily imagine that we have quite a lot of large data to use as we find the new solutions and the smart ways of thinking around the solutions. So having worked with large data sets is also a great advantage when you apply to us. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Let's follow with Lisa.
Yes, hello. My name is Lisa. I work with technical recruitment at Klarna, and I'm responsible for all the Python positions we have in Stockholm. Klarna is a fintech company and bank. We have several different services, but we're focusing a lot on the payments part. And technology is really a core of our business, so it goes into everything we do. We are around 1,300 engineers at Klarna, and I don't have an exact number of how many Python engineers, but in our community channel, there are 287 people. So quite a lot of Python engineers, and we also have a lot of different teams in different domains using Python as a main programming language and technology. We have our app domain, which is one of our biggest domains, focusing on computer vision, machine learning. We have positions that are a mix between Python and JavaScript, more full stack. We also have positions in our go-to-market domain, which focuses on our next generation sale processes. So it's linked to many other Klarna systems. So you would work with automation and data extraction there. Developer services is also a big area with a lot of Python development. For example, cloud automation, more DevOps oriented work and positions, and monitoring. We then have a data domain, and we also hire data engineers, but we have Python positions that are more oriented towards data and infrastructure. Right now, we also look for people for our identity access management team. a lot of focus on AWS. So since we are a cloud-based company, AWS is a technology, and the tools related to that we have in more or less every team. So this is something you get to work with as a Python engineer. Last year we hired around 40 people for only working with Python in different levels. So we look into all levels in the company, both junior engineers and senior managers. So we make an assessment of this during the entire process. So we're also interested in looking at GitHub accounts, and if people are interested, then you can reach out to me, and I will be happy to tell you more. And that's all for me.
Thank you, Lisa. Let's go for Magnus.
Yeah, hello. I'm Magnus Perman. I'm working as a senior consultant at Sigma IT. Thanks for a great conference so far and for this opportunity to join the career panel. So to just talk a little bit about Sigma IT. So Sigma IT is a privately owned IT consultant company. We are around 1,500 specialists. We are presented in 20 locations in Sweden, but we're also represented globally in US, UK, Finland, Poland, India, Ukraine, etc. Sigma IT is actually part of a wider group of consultant companies called Sigma Group, and that is actually one of Sweden's largest privately owned tech consultants, with around 5,000 specialists, and it's owned by the Don Olofsson family. But yeah, at Sigma IT, as you can hear from the name, we're working in the forefront of the digital transformation, helping our clients with everything from defining their digital strategies to communication and system implementations. So the area I work in, the data and advanced analytics area of Sigma IT, I work mainly with data science. We are helping clients with their data infrastructure to create valuable insights and basically to become more data driven. So traditionally, I have worked a lot in the business intelligence area for around 15 years. I worked a lot with traditional data warehousing, setting up the infrastructure on premise and so on, to be able to run reports, KPIs, etc. towards that data infrastructure. But the last couple of years, I've really seen a transformation with all our clients to go to cloud and using data science, AI, machine learning, and so on to make use of all the data they have in new ways. So looking more predictive analytics instead of just looking in the mirror, kind of looking backwards, hindsight, just trying to represent historical data. So for me personally, I think there has never been a more fun time to work with data and insights than today. It's really a great opportunity to work with data today. So at Sigma, we are entrepreneur-driven company. Our keywords that we really live after is passion and execution. So there is a big openness to new ideas, and you have the possibility to drive your own career. I have a role as it's called a tomorrow pilot within data science. So that is basically an SME, so subject matter expert. I get to set off some time to drive my area forward within Sigma, but also externally. As an example, I've been a speaker at the Analytics and Data Summit in San Francisco the last couple of years. And I've also been speaking at other conferences and helping with recruitment and so on. So if we look at Python, we at Sigma, we are actively seeking developer positions in many different areas. So of course, Python is a really important skill set these days with more people working with data and so on. So if we look at the areas where we are looking at employing Python developers, it's within data science and the data engineering team. So please check our website, the career section there. You can find the links here on the conference page to look at all the open positions we have throughout Sweden and globally. Thank you. I think that's it for me.
Thank you. Let's go to Peter.
Okay. My name is Per Mellqvist. I'm the CTO for Funnel. I like to think Funnel helps business people to help themselves. So we help them collect all the recording data. The data that many of the companies a few years ago, they had all their data on their own servers. Now they spread it out in a whole bunch of different cloud services, and it's a pain for them to bring it all together to do their reporting. So we make the business people happy when they can log into Funnel and just click to connect all the data sources and then combine them to get a total of all their sales revenue and advertising costs. And it's click, click, and aggregated in a few minutes. And we also make the IT departments happy when they don't have to spend time rewriting all their SQL queries because the business changed the names of their Google Analytics goals. Luckily, it turns out that this is something that a lot of companies want to buy as well. So we're still very much a growing startup or scale-up company. We've been doing this since 2015. We have close to 1,000 customers now, including some large international ones like Adidas, Sonos, PayPal, but also a lot of European and Swedish smaller companies. I think about 40% of our customers are in the US. And these companies like data. I think in total they've connected short of 300,000 data sources through Funnel, and we collect about 5 terabytes of data per day for them. And the pandemic certainly has slowed us down, but we're still growing, maybe 40% this year. So it's there's still a demand for data, even though some industries obviously are going slower now than they used to. So within Funnel on the tech side, we like to think we're slightly different from most companies. That may not be for everyone, but I think if you like our approach, then it's hard to find it somewhere else. We're about 60 developers right now and organized in small teams, so 3 to 4 developers in each team. And each team has a very strong ownership of a functional part of the product and a large degree of self-organization in how they approach building the software. So we work with product managers to understand which problem to solve, but never to specification. It's based on the problem and the team's understanding of the problems. We try to come up with solutions, ideas, experiments, things to try, and the team take it from there. And that includes all the aspects of which feature to build, the architecture of their services, the testing, automation of deployment to production, monitoring, documentation and support, collecting feedback and listening and talking to users and understanding how we can improve the user experience and so on. So it's the widest definition of full stack developer that you can think of. Another area where we're different is we actively try to avoid roadmaps, projects, deadlines, time estimations. Instead, we try really hard to come up with small experiments. So what is an improvement or a change that you can push to production in 1 or 2 days? That's not always possible, but we try really hard. And to that end, we run a continuous deploy. So everything that your team is pushing to master goes into production automatically, usually within 5 or 10 minutes, as long as the test pass. That results in 30 or 40 production deploys per day. Hopefully the users perceive that as just an endless stream of the product getting a tiny little bit better. But when there's something new and scary, we can feature toggle it and give the new version just to a few identified users and let them try it out and so on. So in general, the only role we hire for is developer. There's a small twist. We do hire something that we call coaching developers or developer coaches. They are still very much working hands-on with codes in their teams, but are also focused on coaching people that joined maybe straight out of school or with just 1 or 2 years of experience. So we want to provide a really good onboarding experience for them and someone senior to be there to ask questions, to give pointers on what to read, what to learn, and just sort of be an everyday supporting mentor in the team. Since the spring, we're working remotely. I think that's worked really well. It's a shift. I think something that has helped us a lot is that our teams were already doing a lot of mob programming and pair programming. So even though most people are sitting at home on their own physically, I think there's still a very strong sense of community, and you're working very much with your team. A lot of the times working on the same piece of code together using a screen share or a video conference like that. So people are not working on their own in isolation other than physically.
Sorry to interrupt you, Per, but we need to continue. We're going to reach our time limit soon. So
No problem.
It's okay to interrupt you now?
That was
Sorry
the last of my notes.
Okay, thank you. So let's go for Victoria, please.
The unmute button, the thing of the day, right? So hello everyone, my name is Victoria. I work at 46 Elks. So let's see if I can do like this. This is us. And what we do is we are the door into telephony infrastructure. That's what we do as a whole team, as a company. So we have an API, so people using 46 Elks get access to sending and receiving text messages, triggering phone calls, sending image messages like MMS in Sweden. And that's what we do. And as a team, we have structured ourselves as 3 different teams within the big picture team. And we're looking for more people to join the team in all these 3 different areas. So one is community, where our big main focus is on finding out how to help more developers get started with the API and just try it out and play with it and build fun and cool demos that gets people to get an aha feeling of what's possible. And then so that's the community part, and we're looking for people to join us within the community. And as a junior developer, that's a great place to start. There's a lot to be done. You can make, especially if you're a web developer and would like to add Python and you're getting started with Python to make something work, but you're also happy to perhaps add a web front to that. There's lots of opportunities. And then we've got a team that's called Customer Success, which is all about, okay, when customers or people have started using 46 Elks, how does it all work for them? Can we help them figure out how to use the API in a more meaningful way? Can we, again, build demos to help them understand in their context what else is possible? It's also looking into the actual data internally. We've got a lot of internal tools built with Python. So whether it's analyzing data and figuring out, wait, why are a lot of people getting what type of errors, analyzing what the most common mistakes are, or how to perhaps automate internal processes or deliveries out to customers on a monthly basis. There's a lot of stuff to be done there that's done in Python. So small Python scripts that need either to be built or to be edited so that they're even nicer and easier to use for everyone internally, or that they just do more powerful things. We're absolutely a team of people that believe in using technology to actually solve something, or to take the opportunity to do something great when an opportunity arises, right? So we're not that much for making code that's beautiful in itself. That can be a pleasure, but there's usually to everything we do, there's an end idea of what it is we're accomplishing by writing this code. We're also a team of people that really enjoy sharing what we learn all the time. So to work at 46 Elks, you either are really happy to be learning stuff from others, as well as happy to just be learning in general. But you would probably be finding that your colleagues are going to share stuff with you all the time that we've found out or just realized ourselves. And then we've got, of course, the part of us as a team that works on the infrastructure. So it's what we call platform internally. And we have our own physical infrastructure, which is
quite critical to us. We want to have full control and ability to manage anything that happens. So we've got 3 different physical locations around Sweden that we're all managing ourselves. We've got actual connections directly into operator, right? So to make the communication of telecom happen. So the whole API is a mix of a lot of Python and then some old telecom technology. So on our page 46telx.com/jobs, you will see that the descriptions are in Swedish, and a lot of work is in the context of speaking to users who speak Swedish, preferably. So that is a big key thing to us. So junior developer, platform developer, social developer, or make a spontan ansökan. Just submit your request through the form as it is. If you just feel that you would be interested in working with else, but we didn't match you with our job titles. That's me.
Okay, thank you. And let's now move to another setup. And let's see if I can place in the order you want. B and Victoria here. Okay, so we have now the order, so we can start with our questions. So the first question is, we are in the middle of a pandemic, which changes everything. Even our conference now is totally online because of that. So the first question is, how is the hiring process at this moment in your company? So Brita.
Thank you. We are hiring, and we are hiring a lot. And obviously, we do not have personal interviews IRL any longer, but we have the same kind of process as we always have, but we do it digitally. So nothing has changed, really. We are really used to working digitally. Thank you.
Thank you, Lisa.
Yes, so I would say mostly the same as before. We also had a very digital process before COVID, and now we're doing everything remotely. So from the first call until someone signs, everything is done digitally, and we are still relocating people from more or less globally. And the only difference really is that it is a bigger decision to make, for example, for a candidate who never visited Sweden or Stockholm before, and also needs to make a decision to relocate. But it has been working well, and we have a lot of resources regarding this, so you can get a lot of information about the move and relocating to Sweden.
Thank you. Magnus?
Yeah, so we are having a great recruitment demand for the moment in the organization. We had a short recruitment break during the spring due to the circumstances, but we are now seeing like a big demand again. And we're hiring within all IT areas as well as other strategic positions. So what we do is that we are helping our clients understand their technology needs and their digital strategy, and that is just like pre-corona. I mean, it's even more important these days due to corona. And yeah, we have a great demand for developers within almost all areas. Of course, the hiring process is more digital these days. It's hard to meet the candidates and so on. So everything is digitally, almost everything, but people have gotten used to that, and I think it's working really good.
Thank you. Per?
Yeah, I think I think there are 2 changes. One is that we're doing more activities remotely. I don't think that's a drastic shift. And it's a little bit hard to tell how much is the pandemic and how much are other factors. But I think a bigger change for us recently has been that we see a much larger inflow of applicants, especially to our junior roles. So we've adapted our process slightly. Depending on which role you apply for now, we may ask you to do a remote test early on in the process before you get to the first interview. It's that we don't pick out only the people that have the best test, but we try to find a reasonable level of people for our recruiters to talk to. But then it's our usual process. So that would be a short phone conversation to get the idea of what candidate is looking for, and then a first interview where we think it's very important to involve the developers, to no surprise. So in a first interview, we'd like to involve both one of our recruiters and a developer that is actually doing the work on a daily basis. And I think that's been working really well, even remotely. And then we do have some hires now that we've done the whole process remotely, but I think we are also still able to offer at least one meeting on site, because I think a lot of people would like to see the office, would like to get a feel for the environment, even if it's a fairly empty office at the moment. So.
Okay, thank you. And Victoria?
My answer is quite short. It's the same. So what does that mean, right? So usually first a phone call, second interview is a phone call, and then a video chat with one or two colleagues, and then a final meeting. Which this far, because we've hired 2 people during COVID, it has been a one-on-one meeting. But of course, we take care to make sure we drive there and not use public transport to that particular meeting, and we cancel it and think of it as a different day if someone's feeling not well enough. But yeah, nothing much has changed.
So just one, Lisa would like to comment something else?
Yes, I just also wanted to add regarding the process. Our recruitment process is very much it is an assessment of the level of the candidate, and we also have quite a few different interviews when it comes to the skill set. So we have an architecture interview, a data structure interview, and also a code assignment. And this is because we don't base the level of the candidate on the number of years you have been working or exactly what you have done. We make an assessment during the entire process. So I just wanted to mention this, and this is probably the thing that maybe is a bit more tricky during COVID, because now usually we use the whiteboard. Now we have virtual tools for this, but it has been working well, and we have received good feedback as well.
Great, thank you. Thank everybody. Now the next question is, how is the welcome on board? How are you bringing these people in after they are hired? So starting by Britta again, please.
Thank you. So we are really used to onboarding people at H&M. We hire a lot of people, so we need to have all those processes set in a really good way. We have a generic onboarding for certain parts when it comes to getting to know your new employer and the company and the organization and processes and so forth. But thereafter, it's a very personalized onboarding where you, as a new employee, get your own onboarding scheme to make sure that you get the best possible way of getting into your new job and your new tasks and everything. Of course, you will have a senior person as your mentor asking questions and doing all that. We're really also very keen on getting you into the team, because we're really much into teamwork. So we put a lot of effort to get you into the team. Thank you.
Thank you. Lisa?
Yes, so previously we had a 3-day Klarna onboarding, which we have every 2 weeks, and this is for all new hires. So it's to get to know the company and everything that comes with it. We have now redone this, so it's entirely a remote process, and this we actually did quite fast, and we have been using it since I think since March. So the onboarding is digital when it comes to the Klarna onboarding. Then it's a bit shortened also. Otherwise, we also have the team onboarding. This also depends on the team, where it's located, and the regulations and recommendations. But we also have everything can be done digitally there as well. We also have a buddy program. So when you start at Klarna, no matter which position you're in, you get a personal buddy who will support you and be there to ask or answer any questions you might have, and get you up to speed in the area you'll be working in. So this is someone in your team. That's about it, I think.
Thank you. Magnus?
Yeah, thanks. So I think the onboarding works really well, even though, of course, most parts of it is digital now these days. But of course, it's more important than ever to make an effort in these processes with the onboarding and recognition these days when it's hard to meet in person. So me as a senior consultant, I work as a mentor for newly employees at the Sigma. So we have that type of program as well, that you get like a buddy, as Lisa said, or a mentor that you have as supporting you, getting to know the company and so on. And as well, we have that when you start your first assignments with the client as well. Usually you have other Sigma consultants working there before you, and you get those as a mentor, kind of onboarding you to that client as well. So, but yeah, most things are digital these days. So the onboarding process is, of course, as well. Thanks.
Thank you. Per?
Yeah, I think it's a lot harder now. I don't think we've actually onboarded anyone since the latest local restrictions. So the people that have started during the fall, I think, have been able to spend at least a couple of days on site with the people working close together with them. And I think our foundation in a very small and tight team makes it easier, because getting to know that group of people is still very possible remotely. Then it's a mix of quickly getting, being able to do the hands-on stuff. We have a long-standing tradition of trying to ship code to production on the first day, which I think is really great. That can be a very small bug fix, pair program with someone, but at least you can do it. Together with sort of the longer agenda of being introduced to the company, understanding the different parts of sales and customer success and finance and marketing, which we do intro weeks every 4 weeks. But to be honest, I think it's so much harder remotely to create the connections with the rest of the company, with people working in neighboring teams and so on, and sort of creating that community. So something we're struggling with and trying to figure out better ways to do. That's all I have.
Thank you. Victoria?
Right. So onboarding at 46 Elks is your first project. That's all you do your first 2 days. And I'll give you a few examples of what that is in just a few seconds. So, but number one is your task is to do different things that has to do with your jobs, where you have an excuse to talk about something relevant to pretty much everyone on the team, because we're a fairly small team, about 10. So that is what you'll be doing your first days, and get to know who to talk to about what and how. So it could be getting your phone set up, or talk to this person, or add yourself to our website as an employee at 46 Elks. That's a separate task. So that's what our onboarding looks like. And the one thing that has changed then is, you might get a virtual round tour of the office, but that's how the onboarding is.
Thank you. Before we continue, one good feedback we get from Ellie. Thanks for sharing some great insights. I say the same. Thank you. And the next question is, how is the process for people for visa process and relocation for people not living in the region of your company? So, Britta, please.
You're muted.
You're muted.
Happens
Yeah.
every day. So we are really used to hiring people from other countries, and we are really used to relocating and handling visas. And we have an external partner with helping us out in that. So that is just business as usual right now. Where the challenge can be right now, since the pandemic, is whether people are able to actually move. It's the physical move that could be the challenge. But the process regarding the visa and relocation, that's already in place.
Thank you. Lisa?
Yes, and I would say the same. We are really used to relocating people and handling this from before. And as I mentioned, the only struggle is really that it is a bigger decision for the candidate to make, and they need to understand that they might not be able to visit the country or the office or anything, meet anyone in person before they join. So they need to accept an offer on those terms. We are working on creating like virtual office tours. We have this for our office in Gießen, and this is also something we're working on for our other locations. So we try to give candidates even more information about the office and the team and the country, of course. We also have a team Q&A as a part of the virtual process, since they can't really meet and get to know the team any other way. But we don't see it as a big problem at the moment.
Thank you. Magnus?
Yeah, thanks. So yeah, we also have a set up process to be able to relocate globally to Sweden. So we have a separate business area for that. It's called Sigma Global Sourcing. So yeah, we're helping the candidates with everything from the recruitment abroad, of course, to relocating to Sweden. So that includes visa, Swedish migrations. We're helping setting up with housing and so forth, and getting into the same onboarding as all other employees at Sigma once you start here. So yeah, we have the process for that. But yeah, just to concur on the previous speakers, that yeah, it's of course with the current situation, travel bans and so on, and it can make it really hard these days to move, and it's a bigger decision, of course, these days to really move and relocate to Sweden.
Thank you. Per?
Yeah, so Funnel as a whole, on the commercial side, we do relocations. On the tech side, we require a working level of Swedish, so relocation doesn't come up a lot for us. Hasn't happened since the pandemic.
Thank you. Victoria?
So for us, it might be the case, because it has happened, that if you're based in Europe, it might be that we would be happy to collaborate with you, whether it's part-time or full-time, depending on what type of tasks that would be relevant within community. But it wouldn't be about relocating. So you're probably already in Sweden if you want to join the company and work intimately with the team. Well, on site, obviously, once Corona is not as it is right now.
Thank you. The next question, I think most of you already mentioned that and answer. So I to merge in the two questions in just one answer, not to answer one single yes or no, but both together. Like, it's Swedish language mandatory for these positions, and are the position Python specific? Is just to program in Python, or other languages is necessary to know? So, Marita, please.
So we work in an international environment, so English is enough. If you know Swedish as well, or any other language, that might come in helpful, but English is the language that we need you to know. And when it comes to Python and the skills around that. It's almost always a combination of Python and other skill sets, and that is very clear when you look into our open positions, what kind of skill sets and how long experience we expect you to have. But it's often a broader skill set that we're after.
Thank you. Lisa?
Yes, so it's the same for us. English is our working language, and that's the only requirement when it comes to language. When it comes to skill set, we have a structure that we call a pipeline structure. So all Python engineering positions start quite broad, and we then find the best match in a team that fits with the candidate's background and experience and also interests going forward. So Python is for engineers, it's mandatory, and that's also our programming assignment. It's in Python. But then when it comes to other technologies and areas, it depends on what specific team we are hiring for, and we have openings in. Then we hire a lot of other engineers, but they go through other pipelines. So yeah, for this position, it's mandatory. Then we also have engineering manager positions where it's not as important that you have Python as a language. And we have some cases where the candidate might have just a tiny little bit of experience in Python or an understanding, but a lot of experience in another technology. So there are cases as well, but mainly Python.
Thank you, Lisa. Magnus?
Yeah, so if it's mandatory to know Swedish, it's the same for Sigma, no, since most of our clients are working with English as the company standard. So yeah, you don't need to know Swedish. You get around really good with English with all our clients, and that's the standard of communication. So do we have any Python specific positions? No, I would say we don't have any positions that are purely Python, that if you only know Python you will get the position, but it's one of the important skill sets, I would say. So I mean, as a consultant you get to work with many different clients and different projects and see many different stacks, and of course, yeah, Python is a really important skill set these days. So I would say it's an important skill set, but we don't have any pure Python specific roles.
Thank you. Per?
So I'll start with the language question, and then we can discuss Swedish after that. With regards to Python, I think roughly half of our code base is in Python. We never require Python-specific experience, which I think is a great thing about Python as a language. We've had a lot of people start with experience from other languages, usually plural. And I think Python is great because it's easy to pick up. There are very few sharp corners, much fewer surprises than maybe JavaScript or some other more quirky languages. So it's something we appreciate a lot about Python. It's easy to read, and it's easy to write clear, understandable code. The rest of our code base is to a large degree JavaScript, some TypeScript, a little bit of Clojure, Rust, and Go in production right now. We do have a lot of people with a lot of Python experience as well, which is great because they can act as mentors and teachers and coaches. Swedish, I think, is a difficult subject. So we do require a working level of Swedish. And the reason is, to a large degree, being able to feel safe in communicating ideas that are not fully formed, where you may feel a little stupid, and when you add a language barrier to that, then it's even harder to have that trust within the team or cross team. And I think we've seen that. So Funnel operates in English, but the tech teams work in Swedish, and in the settings where tech teams have to shift to talk to other areas of the company or with customers, some do it with ease, and other people that usually have really good ideas get more quiet, may not say anything. So for now, we're hiring Swedish, and the reason is that we found that it makes it easier to be able to share ideas more openly. That's what I have.
Thank you. And Victoria?
So Swedish, you speak Swedish if you're joining 46 Hours, but it doesn't have to be your mother tongue. So we've got a New Zealander who grew up in Australia, is working with us now, and he shifts between Swedish and English when talking to whether it's colleagues or customers. But it's you can pretty much have a decent conversation, at least even if we do slow down. And that is because we have so much communication going on with customers whose mother tongue is Swedish, and that most of us are native Swedish-speaking team members. So it makes a lot of sense. Again, that said, convince us that you're the right person to join our team based on your different skill sets and whether our values match, and we can figure out the language barrier. And I mean, we're here because we're at PyCon. So sure, you don't need Python. There are open positions where you don't need Python. But for Python, it's if you've got Python, even if you're just a junior developer Python, that's enough to get you going at Elks, regardless of the different positions. So I agree with Britta that have a read on the different positions and see what it is we're looking for.
Thank you. So let's go for the next topic, which is most of you, certain extent, discussed it before, but let's go for the real question. How is your work environment? So, Britta, please.
I'd say that our working environment is really based on our values and the way that our company is built. The values are really important to us. And to mention a few, it's one team, and I've already talked about the importance of being a part of a team. And another one that is really important is constant improvement and also entrepreneurial spirit. That goes very well with these kind of positions, I'd say, because we love you to be creative and we love you to think outside the box and find the new solutions. And we love if you try and fail, because then at least we've tried something new. That's, I'd say, our work environment. Thank you.
Thank you. Lisa?
Yes, so I would really say that it is obvious that we are a fintech company, and technology is really like present in our work environment in many ways, and it is the core of our business. It's also obvious that we once were a startup. This is a big part of our culture that we want to keep. We want to be modern, fast-paced, innovative. We want our employees to be able to have an impact and come with ideas and also try them out. So we have a team-based organizational structure where every team in the company is quite small, 4 to 8 people, and has the full ownership of the area they work with, no matter what area that might be. So so you really feel that you can have an impact and see results of the work you do. And then I would also say that it is a lot based on our values, our leadership principles in the company. A modern environment and flexible environment, I would say.
Thank you. Magnus?
Yeah, so We work as consultants out in with different clients. So of course the importance of the team spirit is really crucial at Sigma as well. So since everybody is spread out in different clients, of course we try to gather together for different team activities and to get to know each other. These days it's a bit harder, of course. So some of these are, of course, like digital ficas and so on these days. But if we talk about non-corona times, we try to do really fun stuff together, going on conferences and so on, to really get to know each other and create that team spirit within Sigma. So I think we've been really good at that. Talking a little bit about our values and so on, I touched that earlier. So entrepreneurship is at the core of Sigma. We are entrepreneurs, basically all our consultants, and we are helping our clients to innovate with new technology, basically. So really trying to be on the forefront of technology and helping our clients use all the new technology. So technology is what we love at Sigma, and what we really care about, love working with. So yeah, thanks.
Thank you, Per.
I'm thinking I'm the wrong person to answer the question, how is the work environment? Should ask some of the developers. But I can tell you what we're trying to do. We have a lot of focus on learning, both in the sense of learning technology and learning ways of working, but also about learning about our customers and users and what they're trying to do. We're very much open to the fact that we don't have the solution yet. So it's still early stages, and we're experimenting and learning and trying new things. And I think in order to do that, and for people to feel comfortable, there's also a lot of focus on building trust, feeling safe to make an experiment and fail, and teamwork, and try to create a supportive environment where people feel safe to take initiative and try something. Yeah.
Thank you. Victoria?
So flexible hours is a thing at 46 Elks. So some of us are early birds and check in and go, hey, good morning at 6:30. I'm still asleep if I can. Some of us like to get in at perhaps 9, 9:30. You might be leaving off children to preschool. Might be that you have a morning passion. Whatever the reason is, we've got flexible hours. So as long as some hours do overlap so that you can communicate with the rest of us. Another part of what we're doing right now is we've got all our meetings, when possible, on Mondays. So you get to really focus Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Might be a few exceptions, but that is part of our working environment. And that's pretty much it that I think is good to know.
Thank you. So at the moment, we'll see if we had more questions from the audience to go. I saw we have no questions in general, more more comments, not questions. So we can follow for our last question that you can answer. And after that, we are going to close and invite people to continue discussion in our Slack channel. So our last question is, what's the career path in your company? Rita, please.
So, as you already know, H&M is a really large company, and so is the BizTech function. This is a large function with a lot of people working in it, and we are growing really fast as well. That enables that you can have really different kind of jobs within BizTech. You can develop, you're able to grow, and you find your career. And one of the proofs, I'd say, for this is that people stay with us quite a long time. Right now, it's the average for an employee is a bit more than 7 years, actually. And we're really, really proud of that. And I think that says just about everything. Thank you.
Thank you. Lisa?
Yes, so we actually just recently launched our new career path at Klarna, and we advertise it with that we don't have a job for you, because Klarna is made up of people and not jobs. And this career path is more or less that you can make internal moves within the company, and you can change competence. If you're an engineer, it's not so common that you change competence, but you might want to change the technology you work with, or see something else in the company, change teams, change domains. And we have created a very straightforward and easy process for this internally. So that's one thing. But then we also, of course, focus on the individual goals. If you want to go more of a like specialist track, and what you want to accomplish in that sense, or if you want to go on a more leadership track, and have a responsibility for a team and their career development. So we have different paths, but the irregular path is the latest thing we launched in the company.
Thank you. Magnus?
Yeah, so a career path is in Sigma. So since we're working as consultants, so basically you develop within the assignments you have. So that's your kind of your career path. If you start out with like a junior data scientist assignment, and you do a really good job and you like what you do in that assignment, then you get to be a senior data scientist maybe in a year or two in the next assignment. So that's really how you develop and how you make career path within Sigma. So we have quite a flat organization. We try not to keep too many like managerial steps within the company. But of course, there are manager positions as well within Sigma to become consultant manager and so on. But of course, you can get like expert positions as a consultant as well. Like I have the Tomorrow Pilot or subject matter expert, where I can be the ambassador within the area of data science, both within Sigma and take part externally as well. So that's really how you like develop and grow within the company, within your expertise areas and your assignments.
Thank you. Per?
Yeah, so I think this is an interesting topic. I regularly meet candidates in interviews where we agree that funnel is not the right place for them, because they're looking for their next title to be project manager, scrum master, system architect, or some other title that we don't have and don't want. On the other hand, I have quite a few people that have previous titles like CTO, chief architect, and whatnot that join us and happily wear the developer badge. I think what we're able to show them is that within our type of organization, you can have an immense influence over the product, the architecture, the technology, and you're not confined to a specialist area. So I think to me, a career is much more about learning, development, being able to try different roles, different responsibilities, and naturally having the compensation that go along with your seniority. But if you're looking for titles specifically, we're not the company for you.
Great, thank you. Victoria?
Same, Adele's. Titles is not a big deal. I believe a title might even be adjusted depending on who you're talking to and what the situation requires, depending on who on the team you're talking to, of course. So titles is not a big deal at else either, but of course you'll have a relevant title. I agree that, like some of others people on the panel this far have already said, that growth is something you can accomplish at 46L as well. So there's plenty of time to challenge yourself, to go deeper into the technology you're already exploring, or whether you want to look up and take sight on a different type of technology. When it comes to having responsibility over other people, leading a team. There's plenty of opportunities. Here it's really, you get some piece of responsibility, and then once you've shown that you're taking on that responsibility really well, you'll be getting some more responsibilities and then some more. And whether that is more technical responsibility or whether it's leadership, that is both up to you, what you're expressing that you're really are eager to dive into, and what your strengths are. So we really focus on everyone getting to feel productive whilst at the same time being productive, so that your career would then continue down the path where you feel both comfortable and like that you're growing.
Thank you. We received, we're supposed to finish now, we reached the time, but we received one interesting comment, question that maybe we can discuss a bit more and get a bit of overtime. It's from Julian Song. Sorry if I say wrong your name. I know AGM has master thesis positions. Do other companies provide such opportunities? And do you have any suggestions to new graduates in this special pandemic situation? So let's round the table. Please, Brita.
H&M has already been mentioned in the comments, so I would prefer if someone else could get the discussion started.
Okay, then let's go to Lisa.
Yeah. So we offer this. We offer master thesis positions. What we don't have at the moment is an overview of exactly what teams are in need of this or looking for this, and this is something we will be launching quite soon. So before the new year, I think we will have this launched with more information. We also have a junior pipeline that one can apply to on our website, so you can read more there as well.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Magnus?
Yes,
So from time to time, yes, we have open master thesis positions when there is some specific interesting topic that we want to explore more at Sigma. And of course, we need to set off some time as well to be mentors and for those working with the master thesis as well. But I mean, historically, it has been a great opportunity for both us and the people doing the master thesis. So yes, we're interested in that. And I mean, we have like in the positions, open positions page, we have like an interest where you can just like submit your interest in any area of Sigma, and there you can write that you have some idea around a master thesis, perhaps if you have some idea that you would like to share with Sigma. So you're welcome to contact us through that forum.
Thank you. Before I continue, maybe Victoria needed to leave, or it was fine. Okay, then
I'm good.
I will switch to by Per. Then Per, please.
I'll be quick. In general, we don't offer master thesis positions. We spend so much time coaching new graduates into the profession, so we focus there.
Thank you. Victoria?
We're looking, we've been talking about doing this during spring. So I would love to get an email from you to Victoria with a C at 46elks.com to hear more about what your expectations would be. And we can continue the conversation from there.
Thank you. If you cannot reach Victoria, just send a mail to us in the Python Sweden. Then we forward it to Victoria. Don't worry. So I'd say thank you, everybody. It was a great panel discussion. Thank you for everybody that was watching us. And we finish here. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.